What is up, y'all? It is Paris Tempit, Paris TT and PPED, TT and PPED, and I finally got gloves, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I'm already 10 times warmer than I've been in any other video. Now, I was going to talk to y'all about an entirely different subject, which I still will be, but just not today. But right before I came out to record, my roommate was playing something in regards to Trump and immigrants, and I felt myself getting upset. And I was like, I commented to the video out loud. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I forgot what I even said. And he was like, what? And I'm like, this fucking. And then something in my brain was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Shut the hell up and continue on with what you're doing. And I realized I should be outside recording right now. Why am I in here trying to, ignore and tune shit out when I can leave? Like, I have control of my reality. And I didn't notice that, a lot of that lack of control creates anger, and it creates reactions that, even if they're valid, it won't matter if they're valid. It's all about how you act and not what you're acting for. And I learned this in college. I had this really good friend who could have been a potential girlfriend looking back, but I wasn't ready. And I also was in another relationship, which is I wasn't ready. But they're a really good friend. One of those first friends I ever met that kind of opened me up to just being confident in myself and in my weird acts, and accepting that I'm sexy but also quirky and awkward, and I have so many levels to me. And even though they were making me realize that, I don't think that they were realizing that they were helping me realize that. You know what I'm saying? And one day we had this agreement to, I think, go out for her birthday or something like that. And I, at the time, was working overnights as a security guard. So I was working at 3:45 a.m. And then I think I was working at this Gears Up. I was doing a lot of different jobs. Like, I was in an internship. I had 5 to 6 classes. So my schedule was always busy. Way busier than it's ever been in my entire life. I used to be a free spirit, doing anything I wanted. But my junior year of college, I was busy. I was really busy. Yeah, my camera just died. But I brought more batteries. Oh, my key. I was being a lot of people at the time, and me and her, we had classes together and stuff like that. So I saw her often in school, but she didn't know how numb I had become inside, because I was so busy, and because I was trying to get to a future I couldn't even see and I didn't even want. I felt like I was not even in my fucking temple, you know what I'm saying? And it sucked. But that's just what life was at the time, and I had to accept that, and I did. But, a few days after her birthday or before her birthday or something, she had no. So she tells me that she has a plan to go, like, have a whole birthday thing, and I tell her, well, I don't know if I can come because I think I either worked or had school, or I was too damn broke, one or the other. Because at the time I had my own apartment, a lot of my finances are on my own lap. So I told her, I don't think I can afford it. But if you're open to it, we can try to squeeze in my availability time to just go out to eat or something very cheap in the budget. And she told me, you're a horrible planner. This is horrible. You're a horrible planner. And I don't know. Looking back, I used to replay it all the time. And looking back, she tells me, like, she yells at me and says that. So then I yell back and say, like, you're not being considerate of my life. You're not considering that I'm, like, barely here as it is, and I'm trying to be here for you, but it's hard for me to even be there for myself. But the way that I said it, the way I was yelling, the way I was blaming and pointing a finger, it only went into her ears that she was inconsiderate and not a good friend. And we ended up, by we, I mean I argued with her. I was yelling at her, and she was upset. And, I ended up apologizing to her. So after that moment, she told me that I reminded her of somebody else, someone that she used to, tell me about and stuff like that. And it broke me because I felt like I was being seen in the way that I saw my own family, as someone that, would attack, and you could no longer feel safe around. And that's how my family was. And all I can see in the mirror now was that I just became just like the family I was trying to run away from. The family the reason I'm in college, the reason that I make music, I'm literally in my trans shoes and stuff like that, trying to be me just to become them. And that's how I internalized it. So then after that, I kind of gave her space. She didn't want it. She wanted to talk, but I didn't know how to be me without offending her anymore. I didn't know who to be anymore. It was like, because I had someone that I thought knew me no longer see me, because I had feelings and I was upset, I gave her space, and she took that space as me not wanting to be her friend. So then when I finally apologized, we actually hung out, we napped together. It was a very nice day, but I don't know what happened. I still don't understand. And we had this mutual friend who I still had classes with, who would always ask me, "Are you ready to talk? Are you ready to talk to this person?" And that's having my break, and I would be like, "No, I'm not ready because I haven't changed yet. I'm not ready." They don't. And also, I felt like they weren't considering my life and not considering that I have to move 10 times faster than anybody else because I'm alone. I don't have any foundation. I have friends, kind of, but I don't have family. I don't have anybody to tell me you're doing the right or wrong thing. All I have is me, and if I'm leading myself down a path of anger and making people feel uncomfortable, then I don't want to be around them right now, because I don't want to be around that kind of person. I don't want to think I'm that person because I'm not. There were so many perspectives that were going on, but because we're all just different people, it was being internalized differently. And over time, we just, when I finally talked to them and texted them like, "Hey, maybe we should get some tea, maybe we should this," they were like, "No, I'm at this point in my life where I don't want you in my life." And it broke me more because around this time I had lost a lot of friends. I had this girlfriend who I was with, and I was cool with her family and stuff, and her friends and stuff like that. And I was all the community that I was building, that I built from the ground up, they all were now gone. And I now have, I'm in my apartment by myself, and I still have my friends who I have to this day that didn't leave me, and I'm so grateful for them, because I didn't, I don't take them for granted, because I realize, like, those that walk with you in those hard times are the ones that understand that you're not who you think you are so much more. And it was really hard to heal from that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. To this day, sometimes I'll have dreams of that goddamn person. Not because I'm not healed anymore, but because I think now I'm seeing that maybe they didn't see me. It was a very confusing time of my life, a confusing time of college, and I'm grateful for it because it did show me who I want to be and who I want in my life. I mean, of course, if that person ever hits me back, it hits me back because she did. If that person ever texts me, I've always thought about that. What will happen if I saw them in the future? I don't know, because now that I am who I am, I feel like I'm finally accepting my emotions. For years, honestly, my entire life, my mom, my family tried to make me kind of compress having emotions. I would get in trouble and I wasn't allowed to cry. I would get my ass beat, and if I kept crying, I would get my ass beat. It was a very contradictory life. If I was upset about something, or if someone yelled at me about something and I had a reasoning, and I would try to talk and try to be understood, it was compressed. And then I would find myself doing the same thing to people, because I would start to understand and accept why they did it. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, great. It was it was a lesson I needed to learn. But back to the topic of this video is understanding that anger is allowed. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to feel misunderstood. It's okay to feel that someone isn't being considerate. It's okay to feel someone isn't being grateful. It's okay to take space for yourself and heal in private and figure out who you are behind closed doors without the judgment of your loved ones. It's okay to not want to talk to somebody. These are all things that I never believed was okay. I was taught it was not okay. I was taught very young to always tell people your business. Always, I was taught to be rigid, but also open to rigid people. And I was taught to accept, the craziest things and disrespect. And I was taught to just basically put anything I felt to the side. And today, I finally realized, because I almost reacted to something I can't control, is that only react to what you can control. And sometimes the best reaction is no reaction at all. Sometimes the best way to go about the whole thing is to realize that there's nothing you can do. At that time in college, I tried to do everything to get that person back. I remember at the college graduation, I was At this point, I'm giving too much information. But I saw them at college graduation, and I told them, like, "I loved your speech. Letting her know, like, I've grown. But why am I proving that to somebody? I've always been me. I've always been growing. But I always forget that at the time, we were arguing because we were both seeing my life differently. And I'm living in it, We were both seeing me differently, and I'm me. But because we all have circumstances and people in our life that may not be, whoever hurt her wasn't me. I mean, when I yelled at her, that was. But in terms of the person she was comparing me to, wasn't me. The person she was comparing me to had a foundation and family and friends, and was just not a good person. I had a moment of weakness and didn't know what to do except walk away. I was young, I was dumb, and I had to grow up, and I knew that at the time, which is why I gave her space. And I would tell her, our mutual friend, why, and the mutual friend just saw it as a misunderstanding, which it was, but it wasn't a misunderstanding of speech. It was a misunderstanding of circumstance. And when I texted her, she told me she didn't want me in her life. I texted her years later. She didn't want the version of me that she left behind in her life. And that wasn't even me to begin with. So, unfortunately, she will never know who I really was. Maybe she did. Maybe she knows more than I think. And maybe, I deserved what I got. But at the same time, because of the chosen family that I've built, y'all hear me. My friends hear me. My family hears me. And because of that, I now understand I'm allowed to have emotion. I'm allowed to be upset. I'm allowed to walk away when I need space, when I have a lot on my plate. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where I'm learning that everything is okay. Feeling is real. You have to feel to get through it. A lot of times, black men, I'm saying black men because I feel like they are often seen as angry, and it's because we're not allowed to have fucking emotion. My mom made me hide my emotion. My brothers couldn't even have any. They had to just be men, know what to do, know what's right, know what's wrong, with no fucking guidance. My dad was a great person, but he didn't live in my house growing up often. I went to his, so picture what that did to, his sons. It's one of those things where a lot of us don't have it's okay, just walk away and go figure it out on your own, in your own space, so that you don't affect people. People don't have that. And because people don't have that, they don't know how to feel, when to feel it, and it usually comes at the worst times. I felt busy the whole time, but it wasn't until her birthday that I could have, expressed that. When I should have been expressing that I feel stressed. I didn't express it to them. So I guess I didn't keep them as close as I thought I was, because I was only the psych friend, the one that knew everything he was doing, the one that you go to for advice, the one that knew himself. I had to maintain this, and I was falling. I was young, 19, no, 20, 19. I don't know how old I was, but I think I was 20, 21, had to be 21, one of those, probably 20, I don't know, but regardless, I was very young, and that's no excuse, it's no excuse to yell at someone. That is completely on me. My emotions, and today, even I was yelling at his screen. Why was I upset? I didn't really yell, but I was cursing. That's not okay. It's not. I'm learning it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I've actually gotten into many bickerments with people, many misunderstandings, because I'm a very expressive person, and when I feel misunderstood, I try to be understood, and it comes off as fighting back. And I'm learning that that's not worth it. Sometimes you have to just give them space, and I thought because I couldn't fight back, the space would help her see, but all she saw was herself as the problem. It was a very... this is a really confusing world, which is why y'all have to be grateful for those around you that allow you to be multi-dimensional, just as confusing as life is. And I'm learning that. I'm so grateful as hell. My life is not perfect right now. I have a lot on my plate, and I had someone I was pretty cool with texting me upset that I couldn't get their plan all together, even though I was getting their plan together the best I could. And because they didn't understand that I have my own life and my own things to worry about, you have to worry about yourself. Sometimes you have to handle it, some parts of it, at least parts of it, by yourself. And because they were just wanting things to just be, so I don't want to talk too negatively about it, but one thing I learned through it was that you have to prioritize self. Because if you don't prioritize self when someone else wants to be prioritized and you haven't verbalized that you can't, it will come off the wrong way. I never knew that. It will come off as being inconsiderate and ungrateful for what's in front of you, not realizing that you are trying to see your damn self. It's just hard to see when you have so much in your face, and I wonder why I'm still in circumstances where I can't control why this is happening. Why am I this? Why this? And it's because I never express it. I never do. I never do. And that's why I have this channel. Y'all aren't just, watching me. I want y'all to understand that it's okay. And I wish that I had people telling me this. Everything you're doing is okay. Take it one at a time. Anger is okay, but how you handle that anger determines everything. What you do with that anger determines everything. How you verbalize it, because all of us are traumatized. All of us have shit on our plate. All of us have people in our past that we're trying to run from. We all have that, and that's what that girl taught me. And I'm so grateful for her. To this day I'm grateful for her. Even though she didn't see me, she saw herself. And that is what she taught me to do, is to see me and what I can handle and what I can't handle. Understand my boundaries. Even if the person means well, if they cross them, then that's just what that is. And because of that, I have built a real chosen family. People who actually see me, who listen. Y'all are my chosen family as well. Me speaking on what hurts me, what I've learned from, who I want to become, is actually impacting. It's like one of those things where if I didn't go through everything I went through, I wouldn't be here. This is my dream, y'all. I don't think I've been doing YouTube videos since I was like 11, 10. They didn't go nowhere. I used to always record and always see this future. When I was a kid, I had a camcorder just like this. It was like some HD, I forgot what it was called. And one time I went to my aunt's house and I lost it at my aunt's house. And she bought me another camera. Keep in mind, it was a way better camera than a camcorder, but because I didn't have a computer to edit, I couldn't just watch the videos like one after another like I liked it. So I told her about it, and she bought me some like bootleg camcorder. I never used it again. And I feel like getting this one has opened the door that I had closed that I never thought I could open again. Recently, I had to let go of all my stuff in my storage unit. My whole past, my diaries, my journals. And that's why I'm so grateful that I'm talking about it. I talk about all the things I used to journal about in my past. Things that I never thought I could get back. Not realizing that it's been within. All of this shit has been within me. And I've been sitting and going, what's my purpose? Like, why am I doing this channel? What do I want to do? And I want y'all to be my journal. I want y'all to be able to flip through these pages and realize that human experience is just a lesson within itself. We are all little lessons. I learned so much in college. I learned so much out of college. I've learned so much now and what I'm going through right now. And when I get through this, y'all get a story time of this too. But it's just I'm so grateful. My life has grown. It's grown. It's changed in beautiful ways. All this change has evolved me. And if y'all understood this video, comment down below I understand. Because I want my message to be conveyed properly. I really, really do. And one of the last things I want to say is don't regret anything. Was I perfect in college? Absolutely not. Did I express my lack of time and energy properly? Hell no. I always go, what could I have done differently? And I would have shut the hell up and said, listen, I'm sorry, but I can't right now. And that would have been it. But because I wanted her to understand, I went and did more than I would have ever done now. And today was my test. I hear and I'm hearing and I'm not that. And you know what I did? I left and I went and did something that is worth it. Speaking something that I cannot hurt. You know, I'm learning that there's a lot of memories and emotions inside of me that have never been expressed, and sometimes I let it out the wrong time. I do, which is why it's important to express self. Always express self. And if you can't express it properly, if how you're going to express it is going to hurt somebody, you have to find somewhere to let it out. Somewhere. Music, creativity, dancing, meditation, crying, talking to someone who won't be affected by your words. You know, I am learning that it's important that we understand that everybody has feelings. And even if you're valid in how you feel, someone else may take it and twist it. And you will end up being in a movie that is not meant for you. Playing a character that is nothing like you would ever play. And I realized that in college, and I had to walk away, and it was the hardest thing I ever did, because I didn't know that walking away meant that I would never get it back. Ever. And I remember she would always say, like, you know, you're taking me for granted, and like, you're gonna regret this. And I don't regret what I did. I regret how I did it. Is all. How I did it is what I regret, because I want to make sure that no one that I love feels that way ever again, and they don't. And whenever I feel myself and I hear them and I'm listening, because I have to listen, use my ears. You know, give it a second before. You know, I'm learning to listen, and when I do that, it opens a door to another day. You know, my friends, we're not perfect. We have times where I feel like I'm not being considered, and they feel like they're not being considered, and there's so much going on. But because of understanding and listening and communicating and loving each other no matter what, I'm here in the present moment with them. Not right now either, but you know, it's just so much beauty in this life. And it can be so much pain, which is beautiful. Those memories that I've had with her was amazing. You know, and I feel like in another life, she may have been my wife one day. You know? But I do know who I want in the future. In terms of like the type of person and the type of energy that I crave and desire, which is openness, communication, and understanding, true love, true compassion, all that. I'm learning about what I need because of my lack of, or because I got it in spurts and I got it when I was getting it. You know, this life can be beautiful if you allow it to be. If you made it this far in the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, take a moment to just look at this water. It almost looks blue. Shit. It's the cleanest water I've seen in a long time. I am going to bring y'all a lot more outside videos. Someone had commented that my last video's audio was trash. I agree. It was hard for me to even edit the video, but I told myself that if I don't post it, I'm going to just hold it off and not go on to the next thing. So I still had to post it. I had no fucking choice. But I might just not bring a mic or have my better handheld mic that it's actually used for live sound and shit like that. I was going to use it today, but I forgot the little SIM card for it. And instead of stressing myself out, I was like, let me just use the mic on this damn camera. But y'all will be getting a lot more quality content videos. Right now, I'm literally not in the space to give y'all the kind of content and quality that I need to give y'all, that I want, in terms of my own creative expression. All I can really do for y'all is give y'all these sit-downs and these conversations in terms of my learning journey. But I do have so many plans. I'm waiting for everything to shift so that I can shift with it and go on to what I want to do. But for now, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I will continue. And I'll see y'all soon.